Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelorette Recap, a guy's review premiering June 7th, 2021. Boy, I am counting down the days as all of the Bachelor news has come to a screeching halt. There's just not much going on. You know what I mean? So I always said this was stand-up comedy. When I'm not doing as much stand-up comedy, it's usually because I'm feeling happy. And when there isn't much Bachelor drama, it's usually because the relationships are working out. Shout out to you, Claire and Dale. Nothing's more boring than a relationship working out. But hey, we shouldn't have to rely on other people's drama for our entertainment. That's why you came to my channel. We'll make something up. It'll be irreverent. We'll talk about it. So in this article with Matt James, we find out like every few days, Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell, a new photo surfaces. It's like we're whale watching. We spot the whale there, we spot the whale there, but we don't see what's happening underneath the surface. And it appears to me, in my humble opinion, that things are going pretty well for them, and we should be happy. Things look to be going pretty well for them. All we know is we watch the show take place. We see the controversy surrounding Rachael Kirkconnell. We see the after the final rose ceremony. Then all of a sudden we think everything's done with them. And then like a Weekend at Bernie's, things are brought back to life. But unlike Weekend at Bernie's, this relationship actually, and by the way, spoiler alert if you didn't catch the I believe 1980s or 90s. Boy, the world is just flying by. Can you believe it's nearly summertime in 2021? I feel like we just celebrated Y2K. What's happening? If you don't understand the reference, you're too young and you're going to get old like the rest of us, all right? That's me turning 36. You're going to get old. I'm just like, I need a porch so I can just yell. Should I do my recaps from a porch and then people can like live watch if they're walking down the cul-de-sac? That's how it's going to turn out in a couple of years when I'm in a retirement community. I'll no longer be doing video recaps. I'll just be doing them to someone at the shuffleboard. Looking at you, Bill Gates, my new Bachelor in Paradise alum. He won't do the show. But anyway, folks, if you didn't catch my last video, I talked about Bill Gates, being rumored to be on Bachelor. It was obviously all made up, but we discussed it nonetheless. Now, in this article with Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell, it says they're back together, but he's hesitant. Now, listen, I get it. I understand. They got to sell, journalism. They got to get the clicks. Hey, look, I live and die by the click. I understand. But he's not hesitant with their relationship. He's hesitant about sharing it with you and me and you. Okay? I think what they realize is there's no benefit about posting on Instagram or whatever social media. There's no benefit doing the podcast rounds. People are going to be mad at him for taking her back. People are going to be mad at her for taking him back. People are going to be mad about anything. Let me tell you, if I've learned anything this last year from my comment section, it's most of you guys are really, really cool, but some of y'all, and I know not the people I'm talking to now, but the other people, some of you guys are ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Some people he's like, whatever happened to, screaming into a pillow? Instead, we come online and, I'm going to tell you what offends me today. Listen, let me give you some advice. You have the keys to your emotions and how you respond and react to other people's baloney. We live in a world where we have to interact as humans. I know we all wish we could be on a private island by ourselves. Looking at you, Melinda Gates. But the truth is, we have to interact with people we may disagree with or have differencing of opinions with. And because of that, I think we need to take back control of our own limbic system. Just a little PSA from your boy. Anyway, let's read this not well-worded article. Because when he says hesitant, they throw that in there. It's like, yes, he said hesitant. They're like, well, we quoted him. He said, it's like, you could take a bunch of random quotes and turn it into a ransom letter, but it doesn't mean he said that. Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell are back together, though the former Bachelor lead is leery about putting it out there, even if his season 25 winner is less so. They are back together, but Matt is hesitant to publicly and outrightly confirm it right now because it's still fresh and they still have issues to work through, a source tells Page 6 exclusively. Rachael already faced scrutiny for her past, and now all eyes have shifted to Matt, so he's feeling pressure to set a good example for other black men. He's aware that people are not going to be happy that he jumped back into a relationship with Rachael so soon, so while he is happy to have her in his life again, he is not ready to scream it from the rooftops yet. Kirkconnell confirmed in a Wall Street Journal magazine profile on James published Wednesday that the pair are back on, while he simply told the publication the two are trying to make it work. So listen, this article is trying to pull them apart, saying Rachael wants to make it known from the rooftops and he doesn't. It's like, look, he's probably just understands there's no benefit at all to confirming that they're together. We know they are. Let's jump over here. This was posted today in Kaplan's Instagram, a non-Bachelor related friend. They hang out with people that aren't Bachelor related. Well, apparently some do. So here they are. And of course, he's dancing. Matt James is right there. But what did I see? What is that? Right? I mean, look, I'm not trying to be creepy here, but when you make your living looking at this stuff, you got to see like what's going on there. So we, of course, got his bae right there. She's going to make her way to the foreground, walks across. Clearly no one's social distancing. Hey, who cares at this point, right? We failed the pandemic. It's a failed state, folks. I'm kidding. Get your vaccine. Get out there. So anyway, that's them. And let's see if there's anything else to show here. Probably not. I think that's it. So they're at some sort of, all right, well, we're going to wear tiny sombreros. Well, if he was... Yeah, listen, not to sound insensitive, but if this guy was on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, this would be, I don't know, national Bachelor news, culture appropriation, wearing miniature. I don't know what it was, and I'm not making light of it. I'm just saying there's a world that exists when you're not in in certain circles where like you don't think twice about this, and clearly this guy Kaplan lives in that world. But if you want to protest him, by all means, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. But anyway, that's where they are. So, Tyler Cameron said that he stopped in the Wall Street Journal interview. He said he stopped watching The Bachelor after the third episode because he didn't like that they weren't sharing who Matt really was, his true story, his goofy side. And I tell you, I recall a few moments on group dates where like he's like cleaning up poop, in one farm, and then he like kisses someone and runs to the other side of the farm, and he's very joyful and playful. I'm like, we could see glimpses of that Matt James, but they didn't show it to us in the kind of way we all wanted. And of course, Matt commented in a diplomatic way, as the author of that article said, in a very diplomatic way, saying, there's a lot of other stories with all the women that they have to get their stories showed, so I understand why The Bachelor can't show my full character. But I think what he meant to say was they didn't show the joyful, energetic version of me, which is who I really believe I am. And of course, you can see that right there. He's having fun. He's dancing. God, there's nothing like a nice chair dance when you're in the chair and you don't have to worry what to do with your legs. Takes away half the battle. You can really focus on the uppers. All right. So anyway, let's finish this this Pulitzer Prize winning piece here. So they're trying to pit together Rachel against Matt. Although we do know from our friend Batchy Gossip, Instagrammer from Australia, shout out to Batchy Gossip. We do know from her that Rachael Kirkconnell had messaged her asking her not to report uncertain information, saying Matt, wants to keep this private. Which I understand, publicly speaking, you never want to say this. You never want to be in a relationship and be like, I want to hang out, but my fiance doesn't. You never want to throw the other person under their bus. You have to kind of be like, no, we're just busy today. But on the inside, it's like, bro, come on, I really want to go to the game. But I promised her we'd go search for linens. What's more important than the Red Sox-Dodgers game? Duvet covers. Wow, fun. Jump right in. But you can't say that. You got to be like, oh, we're a little busy today. We need to check. We need to check on the schedule. We're very, very diplomatic. So with Rachel and Matt, they just have to, lay low, not share whatever they don't want to share. In no part of this are they hiding what they're doing. They're just deciding not to give that away to people for free, which I commend them for. Bachelor spoiler king, Reality Steve, fueled speculation by tweeting that the couple were not over, and of course they were seen in Brooklyn. So this whole last month, there's been a whole lot going on. James addressed his mental health journey following his controversial tenure on the ABC reality dating series, telling the mag, I have spoken to therapists. I wouldn't say I have a specific therapist. As you talk about things, that's when the healing can start. Yeah, he treats his therapy the same way he treated dating these women. He's like, I'm seeing multiple therapists. I'm going to take some of them to the fantasy suite. I'm going to take some of them to the therapy couch. That's what they should call the fantasy suite, the therapy couch. Come over to the therapy couch, sit down, and tell me your story. So anyway, he addressed all that, and while he didn't want to speak for Kirkconnell, which is good, in no part is he trying to speak for Rachel. He's letting her do all of her work. It's very diplomatic to say, like, look, I don't endorse everything my partner does. She can speak for herself. I'll speak for myself, and that's it. In the end of the day, you can only speak for yourself. It's on people who care about being allies to do the work to be truly anti-racist, is what he said in the article. And I think it's unfair to leave people without the ability to unlearn and be better. So that's what we have there. He's not willing to ditch his relationship because someone had, learned or it's about intention. And if Rachael Kirkconnell has the intention to be a good person, to educate herself, who's Matt James to stop her from doing that? Support her. Use your platform to show an example of making it work versus just destroying. So he basically, and I understand the political ramifications with saying, I'm against cancel culture. And then people go, oh, it's not cancel culture, it's accountability. And it becomes this whole like linguistics gymnastics. So he's like, you know what? All right, you don't want to use the term cancel culture? All right. Then I think it's unfair to leave people without the ability to unlearn and be better. I mean, it's a nice way to put it. He's well-spoken, very well-spoken. I can't speak for anyone but myself, but I think the women appreciated it because I did learn things about them that they may not have been comfortable talking about on camera. And of course, that was the big news. Matt James talking about fantasy suite nights. And instead of using the time to bump Harrison's, he used it to talk to his final three ladies, which was interesting because a lot of people, I think, had the impression that he hit it and quit it, as I like to say, with Bree Springs. And, she quit her job and then he quit her. And no one's getting a severance package. That's not the package they got. No severance there. So there he is in his his pajama pantsuit. You need a good pajama pantsuit. He just looks like a cartoon character right there. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. Let's see if we have anything else I wanted to report here. Oh yeah, going Instagram official is a new way to declare your relationship status. But I think that this article is 4 years old. I think the pendulum swung. The pendulum swung on Facebook official. I mean, the first sketch I ever made 15 years ago when I got into filmmaking was Facebook official. And that's when it was like, oh, are you guys Facebook official? And then it became complicated and, this and that and all these different statuses. And it's like, who gives a rat's patoot? Who cares? Who cares? The people that are close to you know how it's going. They know the story. I don't know. My fiance, we might be Facebook official. We might have hit a few buttons, but maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? You just know. The people that matter to you know what your deal's all about, and the rest don't. And we are the rest. We don't matter to them. We're just rubbernecking on the highway of life. That's all we're doing. And that's okay too. Just because let's put it this way. Just because you invested your time watching The Bachelor doesn't give you the right to know what happens when the show ends. They can appreciate their fan base. You can decide to follow them and support them in your way or not. But I like what they're doing. I like that they're not sharing anything that they don't want to share. And speaking of sharing things, I've got a new vlog out. Just released it today on my vlog channel, which, by the way, guys, I have to thank you. 1,540 subscribers in the last month. Thank you so much for jumping over to the vlog channel. It's a chance for me to share things that aren't algorithm specific. I mean, God forbid I make a video that's not Bachelor related and it doesn't show it to anyone. The old YouTube algorithms, like the mafia boss, you ain't talking about Bachelor? No one gonna watch it. And then they just lock it in a vault. So this is a chance for me to talk about other things. Of course, you can see I made my vaccine cake right there. Let's see if we can find it right there. There's vaccine cake. And then I also have been uploading older videos. This one was a pre-pandemic, what it's like to be a stand-up comedian. I talked about a week where I went from Los Angeles to New York and Rhode Island and did stand-up shows and kind of showed you shows that went well, shows that bombed, and some of the fun in between. It was kind of interesting to look back on the pre-pandemic life over there. But anyway, folks, so that's my update on Matt James. He is not hesitant about his relationship. He's hesitant about sharing it with you, and we have to be okay with that. When he wants to do an expose or sell his NFTs or whatever he's doing, he'll do an interview. That's what happens. When you want to promote something, you'll do an interview, and then you'll throw some breadcrumbs to us. We're just the pigeons out there looking for breadcrumbs. Know what you are. Carbo load when you get a chance. Right now, it's the off season. We have about a month until Katie Thurston's season. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, like this video. It helps the YouTube algorithm. God knows we need it. And I will see you guys later on for the live stream at 4 p.m. today. Bye-bye now.